Welcome to OT583, Introduction to Ancient Near Eastern History, Literature, and Culture. My name is Jason, and I'll be your course instructor for this quarter. And what I want to do over the next few minutes is introduce the course, its purpose, its design, the assignments, the textbooks, and then the weekly structure. So I just want to give you a brief overview of the homepage. So this will be the way that you access all of the course material. Now this is the way that I view the course, and so some of these things won't be available to you. And so I want you to access the course through the home page and then through each of the weekly icons. And so each of these icons are associated with a page corresponding to each week of the course, and you can see that they're identified by date. Now, what is this course about? So OT583, again, is an introduction to ancient Near Eastern history, literature, and culture. And throughout this week, we're going to explore those various contexts and aspects of the ancient Near East. The ancient Near East refers to a geographic region of the world that generally corresponds to the modern Middle East, and the history of it extends from about 3500 BC to about 330 BC. And both of these are kind of identified by key historical markers, 3500 BC being the advent of writing and the development of the first cities in the world, and then 330 BC corresponds to when Alexander conquered the region, and of course he dies in about 323 BC. But after this we move on to what really is considered the Hellenistic or Greek period. Now the ancient Near East is the cradle of civilization and the birthplace of ancient Israel, and the Old Testament itself is a library or anthology of ancient Near Eastern texts, and is only understood by the knowledge of the larger historical, literary, cultural, and even geographic contexts in which the Old Testament was written. Through this course, you will truly be able to explore the depths of the Old Testament, and I welcome you as we journey together during this quarter. Now, again, this is the home page. If you click on this link here in the middle, with my name, it'll take you to my personal website from which you can learn more about me. You could download the course syllabus here, and you can also email me clicking on this link, and this will bring up your computer's email app. If you don't want to use this, or if let's say you use Gmail, then you can just simply email me via jasonriley@fuller.edu. That's the best way to get in contact with me. You can also send me messages via the inbox on Canvas by clicking here, finding our course, and then typing my name here. I don't recommend this because I can't keep a record of the emails via the Canvas message, and I also don't know what your email address is right now. Canvas, for some reason, doesn't give me access to exactly what your email address is. So I'd prefer you email me directly via Gmail or your Fuller email account. I also require that you use your Fuller email account because once I do get a list of email addresses from Fuller, from the registrar, that's the address that I'm going to use. Let me talk just briefly about course design. So again, this is the home page. You're going to upload personal introductions here. This video will be posted here, and I do require everybody watch each video. There will be a point system associated with this. The videos that I post will be linked to an external site that will ask you questions about the videos as you watch the video, and so there will be points associated with each video. Here are some additional things that I've posted. This is called the anatomy of an online discussion. This will give you some insight into how I see online discussions going, and I'll do online discussions differently than you've probably experienced them before. There are also weekly comparative assignments, and here are the course instructions for that. You can click on that and download it. The textual comparison paper, which is due week 10, and then of course toward the end of the course I'll post final exam instructions, and then I'll also post helpful information which will be linked here on the Canvas course webpage. These are the course modules corresponding by week. Let me just describe the course design. So the course is designed in a 10-week structure, so 10 weeks of informational modules followed by 1 week of final exams. The 10 weeks of learning are structured into 3 segments. Weeks 1 through 2 comprises the course introduction and an introduction to the ancient Near East and ancient Israel in the 4th and 3rd millennia. The second section of the course is weeks 3 through 5, and this will introduce you to the 2nd millennium in the ancient Near East and ancient Egypt, and ends with the collapse of the ancient Near East around 1200 BC, which is week 5. And then the bulk of the course comprises weeks 6 through 10, and this focuses on the 1st millennium in the ancient Near East. And the reason the bulk of the course is dedicated to the 1st millennium is that this is the period that covers the history of ancient Israel, and this is the period in which the Old Testament was written. And so my goal is to spend most of the time focused on the actual context of ancient Israel and the First Testament. Now, the course in general covers 2 broad geographic areas, these being ancient Egypt and the ancient Near East. The ancient Near East is a much broader term comprising Mesopotamia, the Levant or ancient Canaan, and Anatolia, which is now modern-day Turkey, as well as ancient Syria. And so we'll cover these 2 main geographic areas. Let me introduce you quickly to the 3 course textbooks. The first textbook you're going to use is Hidden Riches, and this is a textbook written by one of Fuller's professors, Dr. Christopher B. Hayes. This is a comparative source book for the ancient Near East and the Old Testament. And you'll read several chapters, you'll really read almost a chapter a week or 2 chapters a week from this book, which pairs an ancient Near Eastern text with a text from the Hebrew Bible or the Old Testament. The second text is Mark van der Meurop's A History of Ancient Egypt, the History of the Ancient Near East. The 3rd edition is the edition you should get. And as you can see, you can get this via ebook, paperback, or you can even rent it from Amazon. And then the 3rd course textbook is A History of Ancient Egypt, also by Mark van der Meurop's, and these are kind of companion textbooks. I don't care which format you access the texts in, as long as you have full access to all the texts throughout the quarter. If you have any questions on the textbooks, please contact me. I would say that Hidden Riches is available as an ebook through Fuller's library database. However, it does have a restriction. You can only have up to 3 concurrent users, meaning if you wait until the last minute to do the reading, it's possible that you won't be able to access the text because one of your fellow students has access to it. Now let me talk about the assignments, and to do that, let me bring up the syllabus. So there are really 6 things that you're going to be graded on throughout the course. One of them is the reading. Now, I can't necessarily hold you accountable for all the reading. I expect that you do it, but the assignments are going to be associated with the reading. So if you don't do the reading, you're not going to do very well with the assignments. There will be online material, so there will be videos and other interactive links that I post, and it is expected that you do watch each of the videos and you complete the online assignments that are related to those videos. You'll also participate in weekly online discussions. Each week you will post 250 to 300 word response to a prompt, and then you'll post at least 2 responses to other students' posts. This is going to be 20% of your overall grade. And throughout the course, I do expect that you take time to write very good posts. Your initial posts, you should consider academic assignments, so they should be well articulated, well organized, and well written assignments. And I'll talk about these here. So the way you're going to access these weekly online discussions is through each week's course page. You won't be able to access them directly because I want you to interact with each week's course page. So you'll click here on online discussion, posts, and responses. Now, as you can see, my assignment, my instructions for each week's posts are fairly lengthy, and I do expect that you read through these. And the way that it's going to work is instead of, well, first of all, read through the instruction posts. There will be, generally 1 or 2 questions that I ask you to respond to in those 250 to 300 words. Once you post that, first of all, you're going to be broken up into groups. I have 4 groups comprising 5 or so students per group. Each week I will identify one student to whom every person in that group will post their responses under. And what I mean is that most courses that have online discussions will say something like, post your initial response, X number of words, and then respond to 2 students. And it's your choice of what student you respond to. And the problem with that, though, is let's say there's 4 students in a group. Student 1 can respond to student 2 and 3. Student 2 and 3 can respond to 3 and 4. Student 3 can respond to 1 and 4. And student 4 can respond to 2 and 3. And there really be no discussion. So what I'm going to do is force you to respond under one selected student per week. Now you can respond to that student, you can respond to somebody that responds to that student, or you can respond to somebody that responds to you. But your responses also have some restrictions. For example, your responses can be no more than 3 sentences. Also, you must end with a specific and directed question to the person to whom you respond. So don't just leave a general question out there, what do you think, or what does somebody think, or thoughts. That's not a specific question. I want you to really talk about and focus on something the person has said or something that you've said, and ask a specific question to encourage and facilitate good dialogue or a directed dialogue. And you'll see how this goes as the course progresses. And myself and the TA will also model this throughout the course as we jump into student discussions. Further on that, again, these need to be well written. Please don't go beyond the 3 sentences, and you'll see that it actually will help out your discussions. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, for further guidance, you can see my anatomy of an online discussion, and you'll get the hang of it very quickly, and it'll facilitate better weekly dialogue. Now, going back to the assignments, you'll also do a weekly comparative assignment, and the requirement here would be that you'll read something from Hidden Riches, or you'll read some other assignment that I provide you, and you will conduct you'll provide a 500-word comparative essay based on that assignment. And so here are the instructions. You can read this. It's going to I'm going to grade you based on your analysis, your reflection on the readings, and then the mechanics of your writing. So I do expect these to be well-written, well-organized essays. And if you're not sure of what an essay should look like, consider the 5-paragraph essay as a good model. And you can also just Google how to write a paragraph, and that should guide you a little bit as well. So those are the assignments. At the end of the course, week 10, you will develop a 5-page textual comparison. And really, this is just an extension and an extended version of the weekly comparative assignments that you will complete. And lastly, in finals week, you will submit a final essay exam, and I'll provide more information as the course goes along. Now let's talk about each week's course structure. So again, you'll click on each course module. Again, this one's tied to the first week, and you'll see that they're broken up generally into 2 parts as far as the readings and assignments are concerned. Part 1 is going to focus on one geographic area, generally ancient Mesopotamia, and in week 1 we're focusing on Introduction to Mesopotamia. But you'll see there are generally 2 parts and readings that relate to those 2 parts of the assignment. So here we have some introductory readings from the Bible, some secondary readings from Martin Luther King Jr. This is History of Ancient Near East by Mark Vandermeer. Hayes's Prolegomena, or introduction to his book Hidden Riches, and then another assignment that I'll post as well. And then you have a second section to this week, which focuses on Mesopotamia in the 3rd and 4th millennia. Again, you have readings from the History of the Ancient Near East, and then a comparative reading from Hayes's book Hidden Riches. And then you access the 2 assignments via this week's course page. And then week 2 is structured very similarly. Again, you have Introduction to Ancient Egypt from A History of Ancient Egypt by Mark Vandermeer, and then Egypt in the 4th and 3rd millennia, Again, readings from Vandermeer, a comparative reading from Hayes' Hidden Riches, and then an iconographic or ancient art imagery analysis assignment, which will also upload here. I will also post videos each week. So I will post a weekly introduction, and I'll post that introduction will also close out the following week, and you'll see as you access these videos. If you have any questions, please let me know. That was your introduction to the course itself. I look forward to journeying with you throughout these 10 weeks. You can email me if you have any questions. I look forward to getting to know you, and I hope that this has been a beneficial introduction to the course.